Today I will be talking about PhDs and obsession. There are levels of education. In Sweden, the only required education is primary school, or grundskolan, which is kindergarten through 9th grade. Most of the students at my school have done most of their schooling at an English school. So they have been speaking English since 4th grade-ish, and will be speaking mostly, yes, Dash, you're the star. Most of them are pretty comfortable with it. But a lot of the normal Swedish students, they are not nearly as comfortable with English. Still, most people of average intelligence in Sweden can speak pretty good English. Anyway, that is the first level of school. Over here, they also have high school, which is optional, and is called gymnasium. Gymnasium is themed here in Sweden, and so usually you'll go to a sports gymnasium or a science gymnasium, or honestly, there are gymnasiums for trade. So they work as kind of like a junior college trade school kind of thing, except that almost everybody goes to them. Then they have actual college, and in America they have associate's degrees, which are the 2 years degrees. Over here, that's what gymnasium is for. And so then you have regular college, which gives you a bachelor's degree. Here in Sweden, that takes about 3 years, but it's entirely involved in your subject. Whereas in the US, you have a 4-year college, but the first 2 years are basically just, hey, we want to make sure you know everything you need to know from high school. And then the last 2 years are focused. This is your major. These are your things you have to do. So you have to be because that costs so much money in the US, you have to actually want to do that or be willing to enter a whole bunch of debt. So that's bachelor's degrees. Above bachelor's degrees are master's degrees. Master's degrees require you to focus. So, for example, if you got an English degree, then you would have to focus up and say, okay, I want to do literature, or okay, I want to do linguistics, or I want to do some aspect of English. If you ended up doing a theater degree, you would have to focus on a type of theater. If you ended up doing a business degree, you would end up focusing on a kind of business, like accounting or economics or something like that. And if you ended up getting a degree in something like, history, then you would focus on a particular time period. And so master's degrees require even more focus than bachelor's degrees. PhDs are after you've already proven, hey, I know what I'm talking about in this general area. I have a specific question that I want to focus on and answer. And so to get a PhD, you have to be seriously focused. Like, to the point where a lot of people would say, man, you talk about this stuff too much. Are you obsessed? And for a PhD, you kind of have to be a little obsessed. So I am certain that people who know me well and see me regularly, including some of the people I work with, are absolutely sick of me talking about the band of 4. They're absolutely sick about me saying, okay, people have 4 primary motivations. Your motivation is either to control the situation, to rebel against something bigger than you, to learn new things, or to take care of people you care about. Those are your 4 motivations. And each of them goes with, and the easiest way to explain it to people who aren't real comfortable with aesthetic thought that is abstract, is to use the Harry Potter houses. The Harry Potter houses, yes, Dash. The Harry Potter houses are comfortable for almost everybody. Most people understand what they mean and what they're about. And most people know when you say, oh, you're a Gryffindor, that means that if it's a compliment, it means that you are heroic and tempted to charge off at a moment's notice. And if you don't like it, that means you don't have a plan and you're just going to mess everything up. If somebody calls you a Slytherin, if it's a compliment, that means, oh, you really have all this planned out. And if they don't, then it means either you're being a racist or you're being scary in the coldness with which you are trying to understand this. Hufflepuffs similarly are considered either fluffy and useless, or caring and nurturing. So, most people can follow if I use the Harry Potter houses. There are some rare people. One of my old professors has never read Harry Potter and never seen the movies, and so has no idea what I'm talking about when I use those. But if I were to do the same thing using the Beatles, or the Ninja Turtles, or SpongeBob, or, you just got to find the handle that people are able to grip a situation with. I just find that most people are pretty comfortable with the Harry Potter houses. That's Dash. Okay, stop, buddy. So, for example, and I get lots of arguments with the Avengers because lots of people know the Avengers. The Avengers, Tony Stark is clearly the Slytherin. I've talked about the two axes before, I think, on the other one. Captain America is clearly the Ravenclaw. This is the one that people argue with me about. People say, no, he's not. Nobody argues with me that Thor is the Hufflepuff. And nobody argues with me that Hulk is the Gryffindor. Well, people say that Bruce Banner isn't a Gryffindor, and that's true. But the Hulk is definitely a Gryffindor. I believe I've talked about this before with the two axes, but I'm not sure. I'll have to go check. If not, there will be a follow-up video explaining the axes and the sorting and how it actually works. But the important thing to realize is that because I am studying this particular thing, and I don't have singular focus, Penny. Okay, you're hunting a bird. That's fine then. Because I don't have singular focus, people think I'm crazy. And I had a former student say something that was a little bit sad, and I'm not going to mention names or anything like that, but I had a former student who said, you're studying zombies and Harry Potter and Ninja Turtles. How do people take you seriously? And I was like, well, they should take me seriously because all this stuff matters. The way that we tell stories matter. The way that stories represent us and how we think. I mean, stories are a mirror into the deepest parts of our souls. The stories that we like say a lot about us. The stories that we tell say a lot about us. And if you are unable to accept that there is deeper stuff in SpongeBob than a cute character and his dumb friend, then you're missing out. If you only think of kid stuff when you see cartoons, cartoons are pretty deep now. Cartoons are shaping the future. And the cartoons of my generation made me who I am. And we shouldn't discount that. We shouldn't discount it because we've grown past it. We shouldn't discount it because people shame us for it. And it's meaningful to study the things that give us feelings. Some of the things that allow us to be human are a very, very good thing. There are people who are regularly mocked where I'm from for being feminine or having big vocabularies. I mean, especially a lot of the kids who were of color were mocked because, oh, you're talking white. And that was an insult. And that was a way to keep people from learning big words until rap came around. And then suddenly it was okay to know big words because you were using it for something. Similarly, when I was growing up, a boy that cried was made fun of constantly. But now, because of representation in TV shows like Naruto and several animes and the Avatar and all that sort of stuff, it's understandable. People accept that as a thing that is not immediately to be made fun of. I knew people that didn't feel like they were even allowed to cry when their parent died. I mean, it gets pretty fucking dark, guys. So, I don't know. Studying stories is important because it gives us a window into who we are. And so my obsession with this is because I want to understand. And it is worth understanding. It is worth understanding the stories that we tell. It's worth understanding why a movie like Guardians of the Galaxy succeeds and a movie like Justice League doesn't. It matters. And it doesn't just matter from an entertainment standpoint. It matters because it says something about us. And that's good. We should say things. We should have things that mean something. So, I'm going to study. I'm going to share what I learn here and in papers and in publishing. And yeah, if I feel like there's a powerful metaphor in the progression of zombies in literature, then I'm going to write a thesis about that. And if I feel like the Band of Four goes back through history all the way, through The Princess Bride, the Ninja Turtles, back to King Lear's children, back to the Three Musketeers, all the way back to the Four Humors, I'm allowed to do that. Because those things matter. Those things are real and important, and they matter. And so, yeah, I'm going to study stories. And the people who can't take me seriously because of what I'm studying, because they think it's childish, they're the ones missing out. Because this is cool stuff. And people who make fun of other people because they like kid things. It just seems kind of bitter to me. Anyway, I'm going to try, and I'm going to acknowledge it here briefly, I'm going to try, given my slightly larger audience, to keep up with this and do at least one a week. Mostly going to stay the same. I'm just going to talk. I might tell some stories. I might not. I might talk about my research. I might talk about differences between Sweden and here. I will not talk about current aspects of my life that are nobody's business. And I will not talk about individuals who I work with. But other than that, it's going to pretty much stay the same. So, I hope that everyone is doing well. And I'll try to have a slightly better plan of what I'm going to speak of in the future. Until then, this is Dash. Dash, look at the camera for a second. But, okay, that's Dash. That's Violet. And Penny just ran in the other room. Penny speaks Swedish. She is not an American cat like the other two. Maybe I'll do a video about the cats one day. So you can meet them and know who they are. But not right now. You guys take care. See you around.